Allah is the Lord of those who believe, He brings them out of darkness and into light. As for those who disbelieve, their lords are the evil ones, they bring them out of light and into darkness, these are the inmates of the fire, in which they will abide forever. Have you not considered him who argued with Abraham about his Lord, because Allah had given him sovereignty? Abraham said, "My Lord is he who gives life and causes death." He said, "I give life and cause death." Abraham said, "Allah brings the sun from the east, so bring it from the west." So the blasphemer was confounded. Allah does not guide the wrongdoing people. Or like him who passed by a town collapsed on its foundations, he said, "How can Allah revive this after its demise?" Thereupon Allah caused him to die for 100 years, and then resurrected him. He said, "For how long have you tarried?" He said, "I have tarried for a day, or part of a day." He said, "No. You have tarried for 100 years. Now look at your food and your drink, it has not spoiled, and look at your donkey. We will make you a wonder for mankind. And look at the bones, how we arrange them, and then clothe them with flesh." So when it became clear to him, he said, "I know that Allah has power over all things." And when Abraham said, "My Lord, show me how you give life to the dead," he said, "Have you not believed?" He said, "Yes, but to put my heart at ease," he said, "Take 4 birds and incline them to yourself, then place a part on each hill, then call to them, and they will come rushing to you. And know that Allah is powerful and wise." The parable of those who spend their wealth in Allah's way is that of a grain that produces 7 spikes, in each spike is 100 grains, Allah multiplies for whom He wills. Allah is bounteous and knowing. Those who spend their wealth in the way of Allah, and then do not follow up what they spent with reminders of their generosity or with insults, will have their reward with their Lord. They have nothing to fear, nor shall they grieve. Kind words and forgiveness are better than charity followed by insults. Allah is rich and clement. O you who believe! Do not nullify your charitable deeds with reminders and hurtful words, like him who spends his wealth to be seen by the people, and does not believe in Allah and the last day. His likeness is that of a smooth rock covered with soil, a downpour strikes it, and leaves it bare, they gain nothing from their efforts. Allah does not guide the disbelieving people. And the parable of those who spend their wealth seeking Allah's approval, and to strengthen their souls, is that of a garden on a hillside. If heavy rain falls on it, its produce is doubled. And if no heavy rain falls, then dew is enough. Allah is seeing of everything you do. Would any one of you like to have a garden of palms and vines, under which rivers flow, with all kinds of fruit in it for him, and old age has stricken him, and he has weak children? Then a tornado with fire batters it, and it burns down? Thus Allah makes clear the signs for you, so that you may reflect. O you who believe! Give of the good things you have earned, and from what we have produced for you from the earth. And do not pick the inferior things to give away, when you yourselves would not accept it except with eyes closed, and know that Allah is sufficient and praiseworthy. Satan promises you poverty, and urges you to immorality, but Allah promises you forgiveness from Himself, and grace. Allah is embracing and knowing. He gives wisdom to whomever He wills. Whoever is given wisdom has been given much good, but none pays heed except those with insight. Whatever charity you give, or a pledge you fulfill, Allah knows it, the wrongdoers have no helpers. If you give charity openly, that is good. But if you keep it secret, and give it to the needy in private, that is better for you. It will atone for some of your misdeeds. Allah is cognizant of what you do. Their guidance is not your responsibility, but Allah guides whom He wills. Any charity you give is for your own good. Any charity you give shall be for the sake of Allah. Any charity you give will be repaid to you in full, and you will not be wronged. It is for the poor, those who are restrained in the way of Allah, and unable to travel in the land. The unaware would think them rich, due to their dignity. You will recognize them by their features. They do not ask from people insistently. Whatever charity you give, Allah is aware of it. Those who spend their wealth by night and day, privately and publicly, will receive their reward from their Lord. They have nothing to fear, nor shall they grieve. Those who swallow usury will not rise, except as someone driven mad by Satan's touch. That is because they say, commerce is like usury. But Allah has permitted commerce, and has forbidden usury. Whoever, on receiving advice from his Lord, refrains, may keep his past earnings, and his case rests with Allah. But whoever resumes, these are the dwellers of the fire, wherein they will abide forever. Allah condemns usury, and He blesses charities. Allah does not love any sinful ingrate. Those who believe, and do good deeds, and pray regularly, and give charity, they will have their reward with their Lord. They will have no fear, nor shall they grieve. O you who believe! Fear Allah, and forego what remains of usury, if you are believers. If you do not, then take notice of a war by Allah and His Messenger, but if you repent, you may keep your capital, neither wronging, nor being wronged. But if he is in hardship, then deferment until a time of ease, but to remit it as charity is better for you, if you only knew. And guard yourselves against a day when you will be returned to Allah, then each soul will be rewarded fully for what it has earned, and they will not be wronged. O you who believe! When you incur debt among yourselves for a certain period of time, write it down, and have a scribe write in your presence, in all fairness. And let no scribe refuse to write, as Allah has taught him, so let him write, and let the debtor dictate, and let him fear Allah, his Lord, and diminish nothing from it. But if the debtor is mentally deficient, or weak, or unable to dictate, then let his guardian dictate with honesty, and call to witness 2 men from among you.